What's up, guys? Welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about SOFI stock. They have been beaten down the past month, and let's see, yeah, they're down about 24%, and past 3 months, 26%. So, definitely a stock that's been beaten down. And what reason? Like, yes, the general market just has been down, but the individual stock, they just had earnings 1 or 2 weeks ago and crushed them. They beat expectations, and definitely looks like this stock is heading in the right direction. So that's always good to see. And then also they are joining the S&P in March, so just a couple more weeks, which is also a huge boost to this as well. So in my eyes, definitely a stock that you want to get in before it kind of recovers, because there's a lot of room for this stock to grow. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about in this video, is some strategies to capitalize on that. And there's different types of strategies that we'll be going over. Some that might just buy the stock and hold, or sell calls, or maybe even sell puts. Who knows? But that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. But yeah, let's dive into it. So this is optionstrat.com. It's a software that kind of helps you play out your position, so then you really understand what your max profit is, or your max loss, and your break even. So those are the three big things that are very, very helpful. And then also like what percent you could get, and then also just different ways you can structure stuff. So definitely recommend using this to kind of help you out. But yeah, let's get into what we're going to talk about. First off, I'll just say that there are definitely multiple strategies that you can do with this. There's not just one right answer. This is definitely a different circumstance than what I typically would do, as far as when the stock is either slightly up or just a bit down. I like to sell calls to reduce my risk, but in this spot, I really have a lot of confidence in SoFi, and so I don't blame anybody who just wants to buy the stock and hold, because in my eyes, it might not be the bottom, but it's dropped a ways, and how far can it really go? And there's a lot of upside and a lot of things that are going good for it. But we could buy shares and just hold, which honestly at this point, that's kind of what I'm doing with my 1,100 shares, because at one point I did sell a call, but then that got expired worthless. So I got the premium, but obviously I still own the shares. So I'm just kind of waiting, and that's a strategy that I could see works for a lot of people, is buy low and then just hold until it recovers, which again, I do not blame anybody for that. But for those people that kind of want another layer of protection, selling calls is a great way to do that. With it at 1985, honestly, me personally, I would probably do a $21 call just to leave some upside for it to grow a little bit, but enough where it's still it has to move up another $1.25. So it doesn't have to move super far, but definitely capitalize on the premium and also the upside. But then there's also people who might want to do a $20 call, which is a lot more conservative, because you get a lower break even, but you also get a little lower returns. So 6.6% versus 9.6%, which, don't get me wrong, 6.6% is great returns in a month. That is fantastic. S&P get between 10 and 12% in a year. So again, 6.6 in a month, actually three weeks, is fantastic. So that's another strategy that somebody could do that kind of wants a even lower break even than buying it at 1985, or in this scenario 1917. So that's kind of what my thoughts are on it. But some people also might say, oh, I want to do a $25 call because I want to give it so much room to grow. Well, in my eyes, yes, don't get me wrong, 27% is great. That's awesome, but your break even is 1976. So at that point, you might as well just buy the stock and hold, so then you're not capped. But yes, you don't have that 10 cents lower for the break even. So if you were somebody that wanted to do this, honestly, I'd just buy the stock and hold rather than selling a $25 call. The last strategy that I kind of was wanting to get into was, let's see, let me set this up real quick, is selling puts. So this is a great way to get into a stock, which, if you don't know, if you say did a $20 put at the end of this expiration, so March 13th, if the stock was below $20, well then you would essentially buy this stock and have a break even of 1881. So in this case, you would own 100 shares because of the one that you sold, and so then you would have 100 shares of SOFI at the 1881. So another great strategy as well to kind of get into SOFI if you wanted, and that's a bad way to do it. So you'd make $119. It's kind of weird. I wish I could do the percentage, but it obviously isn't 100%. Selling puts, selling calls, and then for those who just want to buy the stock and hold, that's another great way. But definitely a stock that I would recommend you at least getting into. Again, whether it's buying shares or it's just selling calls. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. If you guys give this a like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And I hope I catch you guys in the next one.